It begins with a name change, one made in the middle of a world war. In 1917, as anti-German sentiment surged across Britain, King George V erased the centuries-old Saxe-Coburg-Gotha lineage and replaced it with a name pulled from an English castle, Windsor. A symbolic gesture, yes, but also the moment the modern British monarchy was born. More than a century later, that same house now sits at the centre of a global brand, controls vast estates, and is routinely labelled Europe's richest royal family. But what does that wealth actually consist of? And how much of it is truly theirs? This is the story of how the Windsors built their fortune, and whether richest really means what people think it does. The rise of the House of Windsor is inseparable from the crisis that created it. By 1917, Britain was locked in the most devastating conflict in its history. Anti-German feeling dominated public life, and the royal family's unmistakably German surname, Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, had become a political liability. Newspapers mocked it. German Gotha bombers attacked London, adding a cruel irony. King George V realized the monarchy's survival required a decisive break with its European dynastic roots. On 17th of July 1917, he issued a proclamation renouncing all German titles and adopting a resolutely English one, Windsor. The monarchy did not transform overnight, but the name change marked the beginning of a slow reinvention. From a European dynasty to a national symbol capable of navigating the fall of empire, the rise of democracy, and the pressures of a modern media age. If the Windsor name established a new identity, the land beneath it established the power. Royal wealth is not like the fortune of a tech CEO or an oil magnate. It is rooted in ancient legal structures, complex constitutional rules, and enormous estates that have grown in value over centuries. At the centre sits the Crown Estate, one of Europe's most profitable land portfolios. It encompasses prime London real estate, agricultural land, commercial developments, coastal territories, and control of the UK seabed. Now the foundation of Britain's booming offshore wind industry. The crucial distinction: the Crown Estate is not the monarch's personal property. It is held in right of the Crown, meaning it belongs to the institution and is managed independently. But its profits fund the sovereign grant, which pays for official royal duties and the upkeep of properties like Buckingham Palace. Alongside the Crown Estate are two powerful duchies, Lancaster and Cornwall. These are private estates, older than the Windsor name itself, and they operate like sophisticated real estate and investment groups. The Duchy of Lancaster provides private income to the monarch. The Duchy of Cornwall, now held by Prince William, does the same for the Prince of Wales. Together, these duchies hold vast tracts of farmland, commercial buildings, residential developments, and financial assets. Add to this the monarch's genuinely private properties, Balmoral, Sandringham, as well as jewellery, artworks, and investment portfolios, and the picture becomes clearer. Windsor wealth is a layered system, part public, part institutional, and part personal. Today, the Windsor presence extends far beyond Britain. The family still reigns over the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth realms, forming a monarchy with a global footprint. Their soft power is immense. Royal tours draw diplomatic attention. State visits influence international relations. Weddings, funerals, and coronations turn into global televised events that reinforce the royal brand. Financially, the Crown Estate continues to expand in value. The duchies supply consistent private income, and the monarch's personal fortune sits in the low billions, though exact figures remain uncertain due to sealed wills and limited transparency. Yet the monarchy's influence isn't only economic or constitutional, it's cultural. Tradition becomes narrative, narrative becomes visibility, visibility becomes power. But this power comes with growing scrutiny. Transparency remains one of the monarchy's most contentious issues. Royal wills are legally sealed, meaning inheritances worth hundreds of millions remain undisclosed. Critics argue this secrecy clashes with the standards expected of public institutions. Supporters counter that the monarchy's constitutional role requires certain protections. Public funding is another point of debate. The sovereign grant has increased in recent years, partly due to the major renovation of Buckingham Palace. Some see the monarchy as a net financial contributor through tourism and diplomatic value. Others question why such a wealthy family should draw on taxpayer money at all. Comparisons with other European royal houses complicate things further. Depending on how one defines wealth, personal, institutional, or combined, the Windsors may rank first, or fall behind Luxembourg's Grand Ducal family or Monaco's Grimaldis. Myths flourish that the monarchy is self-funded, that the Crown estate is a private family business, or that royal privilege operates like personal wealth. In reality, the Windsor financial structure is a hybrid, part state, part tradition, part family enterprise. Looking ahead, the Windsors face a challenge no balance sheet can solve: relevance. King Charles III inherited a monarchy entering a new era, one marked by rapid media cycles, rising political skepticism, and generational divides. His push for a slimmed-down monarchy reflects attempts to respond to public expectations, though whether it reduces costs or merely concentrates duties remains an open question. Prince William and Catherine embody the institution's future, but they must appeal to younger citizens who are less instinctively supportive of monarchy than earlier generations. Meanwhile, the Commonwealth is shifting. Several nations have openly considered becoming republics, not out of hostility, but out of political evolution. A shrinking Commonwealth would reduce the Windsor global footprint, altering a century-old dimension of the monarchy's identity. Still, the Windsors have survived abdications, war, scandal, and social transformation. Their future now depends on balancing tradition with transparency, wealth with accountability, and symbolism with tangible public value. So, are the Windsors really Europe's richest royal family? In one sense, yes. When counting the Crown estate and historic duchies, their asset base is unmatched. But in another sense, no. When measuring strictly private wealth, several other royal families match or exceed them. In the end, what sustains the House of Windsor is not only what they own, it's the trust and relevance they can maintain in a changing world. Before you go, do you think a monarchy's value should be measured by its wealth, its tradition, or its contribution to society? And that's where we'll leave the House of Windsor for now, caught between history and headlines, palaces and politics, public duty and private wealth. If you made it this far, thanks for watching and spending your time with this story. If you'd like to see more deep dives into royal power, big money, and the families behind it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next episode. Before you go, I'd love to hear your view in the comments. When you look at a monarchy like the House of Windsor, what do you think really matters most? Is it the size of their wealth, the weight of their history and traditions, or the way they actually contribute to society today, through public service, charity, tourism, and soft power on the world stage? Or, put it more simply, how should we measure the value of a modern monarchy in the 21st century? Let me know what you think below, and I'll see you in the next one.